There are some social work skills that are specific to the field of domestic violence. If someone wants to work in the field of domestic violence, they should really seek to form a deep understanding of the dynamics. First of all, that it's never the victim's fault. Second of all, they should want to work to hold abusers accountable. But also, they should want to work to help abusers heal. So they need to want to work with them and to be able to have positive relationships with them as well. They should want to pursue ongoing education. The field is a growing field. There's a shift from seeing it as a woman's issue and to only addressing the victims to a real expansion of prevention and efforts to intervene and to stop young people who've been exposed to violence from becoming abusers themselves. So to stay on the forefront as all of the research and empirical data becomes available will be really important in this field. They need to embrace empowerment theory. A lot of people think that when you work in domestic violence, your job is to get victims to leave. This is untrue. You shouldn't have an agenda. You should really just want to support the person. If you're working with a victim and you convince them that you know what's best for their life and they don't, you've actually just reinforced what their abuser has been drilling into them their whole relationship. So instead of helping your client to find empowerment, you are actually reinforcing what the abusers taught them, and you're making them more debilitated. So you have to work from an empowerment theory when you work with survivors of domestic violence. You have to see the value in planting seeds. Although the work that you do may have an impact that will last generations and help your clients, their children, their grandchildren, and on for generations to come, you might not get to see the fruits of the seeds that you've planted. So you have to be okay with that, and that can be difficult. You have to understand the cycle of violence and not feel rejected by the victims, by their children, and by the abusers. If you work with the victims and they decide that they want to return to a relationship, often part of that cycle is a rejection of all the things that they've built in the time apart, and you will be included in that. Victims of domestic violence tend to leave 8 times before they leave for good. That's just an average. It could be the first time, it could be the 50th time. So you can't make them feel bad when that process happens because you want them to feel welcome to return. The children might be angry with you because they wanted you to help fix the problem and either make their parents get along or make usually their mom, but whoever is the victim, leave. So the children might also be, angry with you as the relationship terminates. Abusers, their whole place in the cycle is that they want to have power. And so if you do work with them and they start to feel vulnerable, they might lash out to try to feel like they're resetting that power balance and getting some of that power back. So in any of these therapeutic relationships, when there's domestic violence, you have to be prepared to maintain your unconditional positive regard and still work with them even when rejection happens in the relationships. The other thing is hopefully you're someone who wants to be a team player and who understands the value of supervision and of consultation with your colleagues. The work can be difficult, and it's really important to have people that you trust who work in the field with you, who can help you to remember why you're doing the work and to help you when you have difficult cases or difficult days, or just hear really awful things. When you hear about the abuse that people do to their partners and their children, it's some of the worst things that people do to each other, and they're doing it to people who they love and who love them. So it's really important to be good at receiving support and also giving support to your colleagues.